Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Enlightened Entrepreneur. My name is Yokai Kachidol, and today I have a great guest who I think will help a lot of people. In fact, some of the information we're going to learn today is something that you can implement in your business today. With me today is Jeanne Kelly, who is an author, a speaker, and a widely sought after credit expert. Now, Jeanne has become one of the country's foremost authorities on credit reports, and credit scores. She is the author of 2 books. She has also appeared on Today's Show, Gary Willis, Fox Business, blogged for the Huffington Post, Creditcom, and has helped thousands of people in the United States and now here in the UK have their credit become healthier, so to speak. So welcome to the call, Jeanne.
Hi, thank you for having me today.
I'm so thrilled that you are here with us because the subject we're going to be talking about is one that every entrepreneur really needs to master if they're going to be in business for a long time. So we have entitled our interview today, the 3 credit management mistakes every business owner needs to avoid in order for them to succeed. Now, to get us started, Jeanne, our audience would love to know your background, how you got started, and most importantly, how you can help them.
So I got started, and I started my business almost by accident, and it was basically because I was going through a divorce and didn't realize I had bad credit and needed my own finances for myself. So I had to dig my way out of that, and it took a lot of time researching the credit industry. No one was really talking about credit like they are today. So it took years to research and to rebuild my credit, to have financial independence again. And once I did that, I realized I could help others with a simple formula so they wouldn't have to go through what I went through. And thus the Kelly Group was born, and I opened up my doors, from the basement of my home, having very little money, and began helping people obtain healthier credit so then they too could save money and not be wasting money on higher interest rates that were unnecessary if they would just learn how to build and maintain healthy credit.
Incredible. So what, other than the experience you've had, did you do to get you to have good credit? Did you go to a formal education, or it was all? Okay, let's hear more about it.
Yeah, not formal at all, and really just researching the credit industry. And trial and error, even on my own part, trying certain things and it not working out, and then seeing what was working out and what was helping my credit, and not being afraid to dig in. And again, the research I did was years worth of research every single day. Right. And all of a sudden I started seeing, again, by doing it myself, what was working and what wasn't, and just kept maintaining from there. And it's like anything, things change, so you have to stay on top of the credit industry because something can change. And also, just because you have good credit doesn't mean you can walk away from it. You have to still maintain, like a healthy diet. It's almost like that. Like, just because you reach that target weight, let's say, that you want to reach, it doesn't mean after you get there, then that's it. You don't think about it. You still have to use the tools and maintain so you keep that credit score where you want it to be. And that's at the highest level that you can have it at.
Incredible. I'm so excited that we are going to be covering these tools and how you can maintain your credit if you're already on the green, so to speak. But before we jump to that, Jeanne, what surprised you the most in your experience of researching credit?
I guess back then what surprised me the most is there wasn't really a lot of information. I'm going back 15 years ago. So nowadays it's so easy to maybe, you can ask a question, and research something on the internet, but then again, you'll still get 15 answers to your one question. So it's very, you get guided in different directions. So I think that surprised me a lot, that at the time when I started, there really wasn't help that there is today. Now we're talking about credit more openly. When I used to ask people about credit, they would duck away, and really it was almost, they were just afraid to discuss it. Where now we have commercials talking about credit. I can go to the ballpark and I'll see a credit bureau with an advertisement. So it's totally different today, which is great because we use credit every single day practically, except no one was teaching us how to really use it. So that was surprising to me.
Incredible. Just to jumpstart things now and looking at, the mistakes that people make, in your opinion, what is the number one mistakes business owners make when it comes to the area of credit management?
I think that they don't pay attention to it at all. And I think they don't look at what is being reported about them or their business with the credit bureaus. And I think that's a huge mistake. You need to know what's being reported about you and then learn how to navigate that and make that a priority. Because when you need the money, you want to, one, as a business owner, make sure you can obtain a loan, a business loan, to help you with building your business. And also you want to make sure you're getting it at the lowest rate. You don't want to pay a high interest rate just because you weren't paying attention. So I think that's the biggest mistake that I see, that people just aren't aware.
Incredible. Maybe in our audience there is somebody who is committing that mistake. What can they do to start making the right step towards managing their credit well?
I think monitoring it is key. If you're a small business owner, definitely, if you're not watching your credit, who is for you? So either monitor it with a service or just make sure at least minimum twice a year you're looking at it. And if you're a small business owner, you want to be looking at your personal credit and your business credit reports. So you can go directly to the credit bureaus. And also, there's a great site called nav.com, NAV.com, and that's where you can get your business credit report.
Incredible. Now, what are the consequences other than the obvious that you may not get a loan for, making these mistakes?
Well, I mean, that could be a major problem because let's say you're a restaurant owner and you can't get a line of credit for the food that you want or the equipment that you need in your restaurant. So it could be very damaging because it can stop you from growth, or obtaining more customers. So that's huge. To me, that's huge. You want to be able to, when you're ready to expand financially, be able to get that loan that you need.
Incredible. I love the way you are painting this whole picture, for our business owners, because as business owners, and a lot in our audience really wants to grow their business. And sometimes the thing you can use is borrowing some money. And if you are not managing it well, like you're pointing out, it is not going to grow.
Right. And again, just to get back, I built my business not having credit at the time, with no money. So obviously we can do that, but it takes a much longer time to get from A to B if there's no financial backing. So, it definitely, can it be done? Absolutely. Any business owner can figure out a way. It just may take longer.
Absolutely. In your opinion, what's the mistake that most often causes business owners to fail completely with credit management?
Sometimes putting other people in charge and not watching. I've had a lot of people come to me and had no idea because maybe they hired someone to be taking care of it, and maybe that person was paying bills, but paying them late, and not realizing that it's not just maybe getting a late fee, that you're saying, oh, I have to pay this extra money because we were late, but it's also that account can report late then on your credit report. And again, a lot of times business owners just aren't aware. And that's why I say the key is always making sure you're looking at your credit and monitoring it, because then you would have been able to be aware of it. If all of a sudden you pull up your credit report and you see there's late payments and you pay someone to do that, to pay your bills for you, then you can, rectify it right away.
Absolutely. Just a follow-up question on that, what maybe an additional reason that business owners, put it this way, the credit management mistake business owners make, where they think in their mind they're actually doing the right thing and don't realize is actually a mistake?
Well, something people do that I have come across over and over again is that they don't think they need credit. They think like that they can just use cash for everything, and that then all of a sudden when they need credit, they have no credit history because they were using cash the whole time. So some people really just think that they don't have to pay attention to it. But, I think it's a big mistake, because then when you need it, there's no history. It's almost as having no credit is almost as equal as having bad credit. It's very hard for you to start to obtain loans. And another thing I would say is a lot of people have credit and then they start closing accounts that they haven't used in a while, and they start closing them, and then as time goes by, their credit report file gets smaller and smaller, where if you just keep them open and use them every once in a while, that's healthy activity on your credit report. So it's,
Incredible. You've touched a point which actually affects me, because not too long ago, I think it was in 2013, I closed some of my, credit accounts which I did not use from that I had not used since university time, only to be told that you should have kept those.
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, again, something so simple, and it's just because you didn't know. And that's what happens. People don't realize. And another part of FICO credit scoring here is 30% of your score is based on what is available to you and what you're using. So let's say you have a balance of $10,000 on credit cards, and then you have these other cards that you're really never even using. Well, now, if you close those, you lowered the ratio of what's available to you. So that $10,000 may look like you're maxed out, and instead you had all this other available credit that you closed for no reason. So again, you have to be careful about that. When you have available funds and you're not using them, the credit score likes that. It looks like, oh, they're not maxed out. They're using credit in a healthy way. So closing those really, it's not necessary at all. It's not, you want to keep them open.
Incredible. Let's talk about, the activities that builds a good credit for a moment. For those who are looking to say, I'm already in bad credit, what do I need to do? Maybe 2, 3, or 5 things that they can do to improve their credit.
Okay, so the first thing is, and it's great if they're listening to the show, because it's knowing today that you're making the commitment of paying attention. So right away, that's the first step, that you're going to pay attention, and you're going to pay, even if you have bad credit and it's going to, remain on your credit report some negative items, if you stop paying bills late as of today, then no new lates will appear. So you'll stop that cycle. So at least you can start building a good history from today. So that's the first step. And also remembering to look at the credit report and make sure everything that's on, I always say, get out that highlighter and highlight anything that one, you know is completely wrong, or two, something that doesn't make sense to you. If something doesn't seem right, because you can call the credit bureau and find out, like, what is this? It could be an account that doesn't even belong to you. So you have to look at your credit report. So if you start paying bills on time and you're going to start being aware, then another thing you want to do is you want to maybe obtain a new line of credit. Let's say if you have bad credit, you may have to get a secured credit card.
Right.
And, and this way people say, well, why? And the reason being, because then you're adding something healthy, new on the credit report, and it's not going to help you right away, but 12 months down the road, that's a good account showing good activity for 12 months. So it's trying to rebuild, put some positive things on the credit report to balance out the negative that might be from the past. So that's definitely, these are things you could all do today. And this is investing back into your credit future. And will it start helping immediately? Well, it helps that you're paying attention. And then again, 12 months, 24 months, this is all good history.
Absolutely. And I've been told that it takes quite a time for this to be back on track. What's your opinion? How long does it take for somebody to move from having a bad credit to having like a positive, or to be on the green, so to speak?
Well, some people, we like things instantly, and it's not going to happen instantly. It's almost, again, like that diet. You didn't maybe gain all this weight, in a week. It took time, so it's going to take time to take it off. Same thing with your credit. It is going to take time. But if you do nothing, let's say you keep paying bills late, then you're going to keep staying in that situation you're in. But if you stop, I would say at least, I always say 12 months or 24 months, you will all of a sudden start seeing a much better credit score. Because again, that's a year or two of having, if you focused on making sure nothing that you were paying was late, that's a whole year or two of a good payment history. So on the credit report, I always say time heals all wounds. So yes, will some of the derogatory information remain on your credit report for years? Yeah, it will remain for approximately 7 years if you pay bills late. But as time goes by, it doesn't hurt the credit score as much as in the moment. So you can have lates from 5 years ago, and yes, it is affecting your score, but one late from right now, like this month or last month, you would see a huge impact of a drop of your credit score, because that's right in the moment. It's like an alert to be saying, right now, this person's paying bills late, so you may not want to be lending them money. So you really have to, I would say, you will start seeing an increase within 12 months if you stop paying the bills late, if you build healthy new credit, and if you're maxed out on those credit cards, or not even maxed out. Let's say you have balances on your credit cards. If you start lowering them, don't forget 30% of your FICO score is based on balances. So if you focus on those credit card balances and lower them, the lower the balances, you'll see your score go up.
Incredible. And I'm hoping that the business owners in our audience today are taking notes about these things. They are very simple and can be implemented right away, and actually make a huge change in your future, in your finances. Is there anything, Jeanne, that I've not asked you, which you feel is very important for business owners to be mindful of before we get to talk about some of the things that you can help our business owners or our community with?
I think that I think you can't be afraid of credit. I think that's something that I just want to make sure I'm talking about, because a lot of people, they're afraid of credit, and that's why they're not using it. I'm not saying use credit to get in more debt.
Right.
I say use the credit cards as tools This way, okay, I use my credit cards because I like to get the rewards. And I have it very simple of what credit cards I use for what bills. I know I have to get gas for my car. I know I have to pay my cell phone bill. So why not link them to my credit cards, have the convenience of paying them that way, and then build the rewards and use it, not be paying interest. I'm not saying go into debt, but just use these credit cards as tools. So when you need the big ticket items, such as a business loan or a home mortgage or an automobile loan, something that's more substantial, you'll look back at your credit, you'll have a better score. And it's all because you just were using credit. And again, not in an unhealthy way. Not to buy something that you can't afford. Again, these are things using the credit cards just in a convenient, healthy way.
Incredible. Really appreciate that information you're sharing with our audience today. Let's talk about you. You run a successful business, a well sought after credit coach over there in the US. How can you help our audience today? I know a lot of them would want to connect with you at some level.
That's great. I would love that. And I have on my website, readyforgoodcredit.com, I have a free credit club so they can join for free. And then I have a subscription club, which is more detailed. Like if you definitely know you need a lot of help with credit and you've had bad credit and you're trying to get on the right path, then it's $99 for the year. And you will have access instantly to credit information that I have been working with clients for years over, and I have it on my site that you can have literally instantly and start having more of a plan instead of just being out there all over the place. I guide you, and basically I become your credit coach. So we offer that, and then constantly I'm adding programs where, and only to people who are in my credit club, I offer coaching sessions and credit classes that we could take online, and I'll be live and I coach people through. And I usually cap those too at a certain number. So the my class is not that large, even though it's on the internet at the convenience of, the time they want to take it. But I don't like to not be able to answer so many people's questions. So I do cap it at a certain number.
Incredible. And, you mentioned that the subscription is only $99. And I thought, this is really, really affordable for any business owner there. Imagine what your life would be like if you can get that loan, which will transform your business, for just, subscribing to have a coach helping you. Let me ask you this, Jeanne. In your experience, how have coaches made an impact in your life?
Well, it's very nice when I coach someone through and then I hear of their success of either becoming a homeowner or running that small business that they wanted to buy and they couldn't get the loan to buy it. So to me, the satisfaction is huge. Seeing other people succeed and saving money is why I started my business. I wanted to help other people, and it's a great feeling every single day. It's so hard when you're stuck, because I was stuck, and I know that horrible feeling. And when there's nowhere to turn, it's just so hard. And I just wanted to make sure that I could provide something that other people didn't have to feel that way.
Incredible. Really appreciate you sharing generously, your knowledge about credit report. And I would like to invite our audience really to visit this special site, which we're going. Actually, would you mention your website once again? The
Yes.
one Ready for Good Report.
Yeah. Yep, readyforgoodcredit.com.
Excellent. Appreciate that. And I encourage all our audience today to get in touch with you. Now, let's change gear for a moment. You are a business owner yourself, running a business. How do you market your business? Because you started in your basement,
Yes.
and now you are in demand. How do you do it?
Basically, social media has helped me a lot. Using social media and being able to listen to what people need is very helpful. But also, using like saying, where do I want to speak? Do I want to speak to home buyers? Do I want to speak to small business owners? And finding conventions and where people need a speaker. I have done that, and I have. You have to think out of the box sometimes, so whatever it is, if I'm listening and hearing that, maybe no one's getting credit in this one area, maybe I'll focus in that county and go there and try to help. And it's just constantly being out there. And being a small business owner, I love being able to grow at my pace. So it's been a great 15 years. I've really enjoyed it. I love my job every single day. I feel blessed.
Incredible. What I love about what you do is you have identified the need in the market and you're providing a real solution. I was checking out your website earlier on before we got started, and you can see the impact of the work that you're doing to a greater audience. And for you to be on those great shows, communicating with the people, you are delivering real value to the people, and with great testimonials you have. Now, we want to know what your day looks like, as an entrepreneur.
Well, it always starts with my cup of coffee.
Right.
And honestly, besides my cup of coffee, something very important to me is taking time, 20 minutes to meditate in the morning before the hectic, crazy schedule that I'm going to have, because I travel a lot. And so I have to have, I love to meditate, and it's just 20 minutes in the morning, but it gives me clarity, I feel, throughout the entire day. And so that's how I begin my day. And then, it starts like I'll open up my computer. I start checking the emails. I only really want to check my emails twice a day, because otherwise it distracts me from focusing on what I need to get done and what I know needs to get done. Because sometimes you open up that inbox and then you get directed in all different ways. So first in the morning, I want to make sure anything that needs to be answered is answered. And then later on in the day, and then in between, throughout my entire day, where am I going? Is it a speaking event? Do I have coaching sessions? Am I building a new class that I want to launch? Speaking to you? Things like this fill up my day every single day, and I have my to-do list. And I'm very, my to-do list is very important to me, because if, let's say, like I mentioned my inbox, if somebody needs something, I can add it to tomorrow's to-do list. Like, hey, give me 24 hours to get back to you, because my day is already planned out. I have every day planned out. Definitely the day before. And obviously, if I'm speaking and I'm on the road, it's very hard. So I have to have my list. So that's my day, and I'm in New York. And even though I travel all over, I'm in the city a lot, and the city that never sleeps.
That's right.
So it's constant, it's definitely constant.
Incredible. As an entrepreneur, what do you know now that you wish you knew when you were getting started?
I guess to not listen to, really listen to myself and stay focused on that. Because a lot of times when it's your vision, it's your name, it's your company. So I definitely am not saying I don't listen to my team or my very good friends, but at the same time, I still have to focus on what I think. And sometimes I feel like when I was starting out, I listened to everybody else's input, and that would be one thing that I would say: listen, but still make sure you don't implement things that you're not really believing in. And a lot of people, I have to be honest, a lot of people thought that I should not have that credit club online because, I've been building a very successful company, client at a time. And they thought, if you put this out there for free or for such a small price, $99 a year, or building the classes where I'm giving my education to people, they thought that would crush my company. And instead it did quite the opposite. And so I'm so glad that by the time I decided to be doing these things, I already knew to listen to my vision and what I thought was right. Not saying to not listen to everybody, but like I said, I think it's so important because that was my vision. I want to help more people, and I can't reach 1,000 people, as quickly as I can this way, or building a class where I can talk to 1,000 people in a month instead of taking maybe a whole year to talk to 1,000 people. So to me, that's the important thing for me. And I enjoy every moment of interacting with my clients over the classrooms and over the credit club.
Incredible. Still continuing on that, Jeanne, is there any one thing or two things, knowing what you know now, that you would do more of in your business?
Definitely learning more about social media earlier. It took me first of all, I am not a tech person at all. So building a tech team, I wish I did sooner because I just, I was still working the way that brought me success. So it just took me longer almost because I was thinking, I don't know how much social media, I don't know how many articles I want to write, per month. And it took me time. But then now that I'm using it more, I realize, first of all, it's not going anywhere. And it's definitely a great path to help you. And I just wish I learned that sooner.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much. It's just unfortunate, I have so many questions to ask, but we really have to honor your time and, that you are sharing great knowledge, from a personal perspective and also from a professional perspective. Really appreciate that. Just to wrap up our time here, do you have one maybe special message to other entrepreneurs, people who are getting started,